Chairman of the Board of the Finance Committee, you're recognized.
I'd like to call the Finance Committee to order, please. And do we have any visitors wishing to address the committee? Seeing none?
Yes,
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
This is on the agenda, I think, on your budget thing that you're gonna have, about your budget. The Joint Economic Community Development Board. I have some questions I wanna ask about that board. And I wanna see if maybe some of you county commissioners can get the answers for my questions. I'm Gwen Holden, I live at 2343 Sulphur Springs Road. And I want to know who is on the board, how was each board member named and appointed, and what authority does the board have, and what are the limits on the board's budget, and what did the board do with the $91,000 we gave them last year, and did the board give our taxpayer dollars to other groups, and who got the money? Thank you.
Do we have any additional people wanting to address the committee?
I think I will.
My name's Linda Noe, 2343 Joe Stevens Road. I hope some of you will take to heart what Ms. Holden has asked about. A few years ago, this whole commission was totally in the dark about this board. It was sprung on them like, you know, just, hey, they want money, hey, they were created years ago, hey, you have to fund them. I think if you look closely, you might be surprised at the creation of that board and what it can do and can't do, and what your obligation is and what their budget is. So I would suggest that you do your due diligence before you hand over $21,000. On your other items with the budget, I would love to see you give the school board this, if you're going to give them the $621,000 or $620, whatever it was. They have capital projects. They can take that money and they can spend it on those capital projects. They'll get the money, but it doesn't have to be recurring. If you give it as maintenance of effort, then you have plugged that in for time immemorial. And there's no reason to put yourself in that position. You, of course, have other nonprofits that you should be looking at. I am just absolutely amazed that anybody would have voted to put cable in a city building. And then we're going to come back here and put cable. Why don't we swap out? Okay, city, we'll cable your building, you cable ours. No, we're just kind of the suckers for everything. And you don't have taxpayer money to use in that way. I know Mr. Goins has mentioned that many times about that being a city building, and it certainly is. And here we are going over and putting cable in it. There's a lot to think about. Thank you.
Any other visitors wishing to address the committee? In the recurring business, we've got the expenditures. You've received your checks. Do we have a motion for approval of the acceptance of the checks?
My discussion button's not working.
Yes,
Yeah. I got a question on 51810, other facilities. So far this month, we spent $94,429.99. It may be good, I'd just like to know why, what on, who, because there's just, it says other.
Where you at, Tim?
On the check, or on the Fund 101, 518, about quarter, not even quarter way down, 51810, other facilities. Page 1.
The bulk of that, Tim, is electricity.
Electricity?
This is the maintenance department budget.
Oh, okay.
That's what this is.
So I'm gonna have to ask this question, is there any way we can like label that somewhere where we know some of this stuff? When I see others, I thought, wow, what'd we do?
No, oh, okay.
You know,
So that you know that that's the maintenance department?
Yeah,
That,
something that like electricity or
well,
something. I
now,
don't know.
under the chart of accounts, under the state chart of accounts, that's how it shows up.
Yeah, but we don't, you know,
We can handwrite it.
all right, thanks, appreciate it. Thank you, that's all I have, thank you.
Anyone else, any discussion? Do we have a motion for the approval of the checks?
So moved.
Got a motion, we got a second? Second. Got a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition, like sign? Motion carries. In old business, we have none. In new business, we have item 4A, bid award for bulletproof vest for the Hamblen County Sheriff's Department. Captain Moore.
Yeah, this is the bids for the vest. Our recommendation on the low bid, which is Giles, and I've just got back off vacation. I don't have the paperwork in front of me with the exact figures. I was looking at it there earlier. Our recommendation is Giles number 2 bid for $18,800 as opposed to their first bid. The reason for that is the second bid is the point blank. It is a thinner panel and a lighter panel, and on a day like today, when you're out here wearing that thing for 12 hours in this heat, it's a little lighter. And we're just asking for that to be considered. I think the difference is around $1,400 between their two bids, but that's our recommendation, would be the number 2.
They both got the same stopping power?
Yeah, both vests have the same stopping power and everything. Their first bid is their name brand. I don't know who makes it. You know, there's several different bulletproof vest manufacturers, so I don't know who makes it, but when we looked at it, that panel is, it's just a thicker, heavier panel.
How many of these you gonna buy?
I think, if I remember right, we were looking at around 32.
Now, on this bid here, I see he was 20.
20? It may be, that may be a 20.
Am I wrong?
No, it's what it says.
20 carry, it's 20. Like I say, I just got back off vacation, so I wasn't aware we were having this meeting today till today.
Here you got item A and item C. Item C is the grant. Are we gonna get a grant for those?
Yes, this is a 50-50 grant through the Bulletproof Vest Partnership. Once we purchase the vest and get the invoices in, then the mayor's office will submit those to the Bulletproof Vest Partnership, and we will get reimbursed 50% of our cost on this.
What's your cost right now?
With the bid, we're recommending $18,800.
So you're gonna get half of it back.
Yeah, we will receive half of that back. We have to purchase up front, but then once we do the purchase, the federal government will reimburse us.
How long does that usually take?
I've never dealt with that part, I don't know.
Government's slow, so you understand.
Motion approved, Mr. Chairman.
Have a motion, got a second?
I'm just
Captain Moore.
Who determines who gets the vest? I know you got more officers in the 20.
We go by the manufacturer date. When the vest, industry standard says the vest needs to be replaced every 5 years. And even the vest grant itself is based on that. Every 5 years, they give us a large lump sum of money. Now, in between that, we still get Bulletproof Vest partnership money, but it's usually very small amounts. It's what they call maintenance money. That's just to replace any vest that might get damaged or to take care of any new employee comes in that we might need to buy a vest for.
So all the vests will be updated?
Yeah, with the
Every officer
exception,
will have to update.
yeah, 20 of the officers will be updated. The rest of the officers will be, their vests are newer, so their vests will be replaced out. We're actually working towards, as we can, to stagger this out more so that we're not having to buy such a large lump sum at one time, but it just takes a little while to get there.
So the lifespan's 5 to 6 years?
Yeah, about 5 years on a vest when you're out here sweating in it. Moisture is what kills that material. Or that's what I've been told of the manufacturers.
What's the expense of the vest? What, the pad that goes in it or the outside line?
The outside liner, if I had to guess, they probably just give us those things. The big expense is the panel itself,
What goes bad then?
the material.
Inside, the bulletproof.
Yeah, the bulletproof material, sweat and water, moisture. If it's wet, it won't work. If you was to fall into a river and come out and got shot, you're dead.
All the problems.
And over time, just the constant sweating, I mean, you can imagine how an officer's gonna sweat on a vest out here on a day like today. Just the constant moisture and the sweat degrades the material,
So
according to what the manufacturers have told me.
How much is it per vest?
Do you have a breakdown of the per vest cost?
15-1 coat right now.
It's like $940 a piece, not a big.
You go to the military, there.
Get a raincoat and put on the vest.
Okay.
I don't have the figures.
That's good, that's fine.
Okay.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor? No,
I can't vote, you need another second. I'm not second.
You're not on that, you, just a minute.
I'm sorry, huh? I made the motion.
You made a motion. I'll say if no one else has. Oh, yes, okay.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Any opposition, like sign? Motion carries. Okay, item 4B, bid award for the mobile forensic software for Hamblen County Sheriff's Department. And this is Josh Sign.
Yeah, it's for a grant for the mobile forensics. One we'd like to get is the Cellbrite. There's another bid that is looking for it, a VTech, if I'm not mistaken. The only difference between them is dealing with Cellbrite itself rather than a retailer. And they're only, I think, when I talked to John, there was only like $29 cheaper. But dealing directly with them is what we would prefer. And it's not a 50/50 grant like the other. This is straight, it's covered. There's no expense that the county has to pay until later on, after the renewal. Or with the purchase of the Cellbrite, it comes with a year, and there's enough money in the grant. We're asking for a second year, and then that gives us time to trickle in to ask for the renewal in our budget for it.
Motion approved, Mr. Chairman.
Have a motion, we have a second to award. What all will this do for us?
Currently, right now, we have to outsource any phone, laptop, tablet, computer analysis with the city. And it's getting to be where it was when I first come up to the detective division a couple of days. We're going to almost 3 weeks or better before we're getting it back. It will free up the city in their cases, and it will benefit us in getting ours quicker. And it gets, you get messages, you get communications, photos, phone calls, phone records.
So you're unlocking the phone, is what you're saying, you take a phone?
No, there's, the Android phones are the only one they can unlock. The iPhones, they can be, but you have to send them to the company, and that costs way too much per phone. The
This
two
software will work on.
Androids, they can bypass the Androids if they're locked. What this helps is you can do a consent form, which we have, and we've been using for where we outsource, or a circular, if they don't like consent.
So it just expedites what you've been doing already?
Yes, yeah. This is just speed up the process.
Does the city charge us to update those, to unlock those?
No. Because 90% of the caseload with the phones, it's victims. It's, no pun intended, it's kids and pictures, communication with adults. You're gonna get consent 9 times, and it's for a reason.
Explain that grant money again for us.
Which part?
You got, the first year is paid for, you say?
Yeah, let me make sure I'm gonna be telling you correctly on the totals. The total for it is $10,499, and that comes with the first year free. And there's enough in the grant to ask for another year's worth of renewal. So that gives us 2 years, and that gives us 2 years to gradually ask for that renewal in our budget later on down the road. And the renewal is $3,400.
That's state grant?
No, it's a federal JAG grant.
Okay.
They've been splitting it between us and the city for the past couple of years, and last year the city signed off to give us all of it for the reason of benefiting both departments.
To give us all of it?
Yeah, to give us
Pay
all.
for all of it, or?
No, the grant is 13,400,
I see.
and they split it down the middle between the two.
That's it, okay.
And they signed the MOU to let us have it all to get this.
What percentage of the phones would you say you're able to, improve your access? You said it in Android only.
Yeah, the iPhones with the password on them,
I'm
it's,
just saying, what you've been doing, is it half or?
not even close to half. That comes in the one seized during drugs, but that's a different, narcotics, they will use feds for that, through hide. But it's a very small percentage that is locked that we have to do more with.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Number 4C, Resolution 1019, authorizing the 2019 Bulletproof Vest Grant application. Mayor Britton?
This is the resolution that would authorize us to apply for that grant to pay for half of the bulletproof vest. Motion approved.
Got a motion, we got a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition, like sign. Motion carries. All right, item 4D, resolution for local government participation in the electronic monitoring fund. Mayor Britton?
This is, we discussed this during the budget process, a new law passed by the state legislature, basically to split the cost of providing electronic monitoring devices for folks on work release or any kind of release that the judge may use. Previously, the state would pay all of it, and they ran out of money, basically.
GPS monitoring? GPS?
Some of it, yes. Most of what Judge Collins uses is alcohol and drug monitors and patches and those kind of things. That's what he uses. the GPS hadn't worked out for him. So basically what this is, it's a three-step process for us to participate. This is step one, that we pass this resolution indicating that we're going to participate. We have to do that by the mid-September. So we're bringing that to you in July. Next month, we will bring to you the memorandum of understanding with the state, telling them how much we will appropriate. And in the budget, there's, I think, $14,000, and then the state matches that. So there'll be $28,000 that we have available for this kind of monitoring. So this is step one. This is just the resolution saying that we want to participate.
Do we have a motion? Taylor Ward, do we have a second?
Second.
Cody? Any discussion?
I want to know, does that have someone in who is charged of monitoring all these people that have this thing?
There's a company that provides the devices and they monitor.
So if it's out of line, they're gonna call sheriff department?
If they violate, basically it's a condition of probation. So, let's say they do something to tear the device up, or it's a violation of probation, they're back in jail.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition, like sign? Motion carries. Like, add 4E is going to be for the E911 emergency proposal that was brought to us.
But basically, there's a memo from me with a letter from Richard Laney attached to it. And this is a letter that the 911 board chairman, who's Richard, sent to me last week. And basically, what it is the 911 has been working for the last several years on the purchase, researching, and going through the RFP process for a new CAD system. And so, and that's the backbone of the 911 system, is the CAD. And so they issued an RFP, they have the responses back, and this letter goes through the process and talks about their recommendation that the board is going to vote on possibly later this month. So what I asked the board to do at its last meeting was communicate with the county commission and city council and get you folks just informed on what's going on, because the proposal is over $800,000, which they have about $2.5 million in fund balance, so they'll pay cash for it. And how it impacts us is that the proposal required all the companies to be able to interface with the records management systems that the various agencies use. The City of Marshtown Police use one, Sheriff's Department uses another, EMS uses another, fire departments use another, and so these proposals, there was only 2 companies that said they could interface with all of them, and so they've chosen starts with a P, Pulsium, and it includes where it will pay for the interface. 911 is proposing to pay for the interface, for the programming, the interface with our records management system with PTS. So they're going to pay for it, and then they're going to pay for the licenses for 25 county cruisers. And that would be the first year, and the maintenance for that. The second year, then we would have to start picking up the maintenance. And so that's detailed on page 3.
Bill, did we go through this once before with those CAD systems?
No.
I thought for sure we did.
No.
I haven't read this yet.
But this is, it's,
The maintenance charge that we see on the paper here, is that to be split with the city, or is that county?
that's the county, and the city has
Okay,
that.
so this is our portion
Yes,
that we have to budget
yes.
each year, okay, thank you.
So this is for information only is what this is for. And their board will, I think, Richard plans on, or Robert rather, plans on calling a special meeting this month. But I wanted you guys aware of it, what they were doing. So that's just for information.
And is that a 50-50 split between the cities?
No, this is, now you're talking about
The maintenance afterwards. They're gonna buy the system, correct?
they're gonna buy the
Out of
system.
fund balance.
And then, no, the city had, that's the maintenance that you're seeing in the letter is county only. And then,
The 67.
or the maintenance is 7,600 for year one. That's on page 2 of the letter. Okay, just the maintenance. Now, 911 is gonna pay that in year one. So 911 is gonna pay that. Year 2 and moving forward, then the county will pick up the maintenance, and that's on page 3. It goes to 7,800, and then 81. And then the city has their maintenance, because there's more vehicles, is around 25,000 for the city.
So it's broken down by demand.
Number of vehicles.
You had the maintenance schedule here, only showing 5 years instead of
No, that's the life of the maintenance contract. And then after the end of 5 years.
You're on your own.
Maintenance contract. Or it's, no, this CAD system, it's designed to last 15 years or more.
That does not require a vote. Is there any additional questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that the reason this is all coming about is the CAD system we have right now is obsolete. We have nobody backing stuff at all right now. And it's coming to the point, if we don't do it now, we're in big bad trouble. And so it's just something that we had no choice in that. We have to do it. And they had spent years trying to develop. The problem is when you got all the different agencies that got different CADs, but to put it all together in one system, you got 5, it's quite a job to do that. Of all the amount of people that we talked to, probably was maybe 20 different companies. And we come down with 2 companies that can possibly do what we want to do. So it's a big deal. And it's really, I think getting by pretty light, even doing that, I'm surprised.
Most dispatching is done, there's very few, especially communities our size, there's very few dispatching operations or 911 centers that are combined, and where all the public safety entities are dispatched from one place. They're mostly segmented.
But Joe, they're just like a phone. 5-10 years down the road, they're going to be obsolete also. Then they're going to want something else different. You know.
You know what?
They stay good for 20, 25 years.
The bottom line is we have no choice, because a year from now, we'll have no system at all, period.
Is that bad now, Joe?
It's that bad. We've already, the company we've got right now has already sent notice about 6 months ago that we won't even.
Yeah, they're not, it's a Cisco product. They're not servicing it. And so our folks do it. They're not going to improve the product. The company's basically shelved it. And so that's when, but 911 was notified of it a couple of years ago, so they started looking for a new system a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
The 25 vehicles, is that enough? I mean, does that cover?
I don't think it is. So we'll negotiate that with 911. How many folks do you think would need the mobile piece?
All total, you're probably looking at about 32.
So we'll negotiate
Thank you, Chairman.
that. No, it's their board's decision. I just
Thank
wanted
you.
you guys aware.
Thank you, Chairman Ward. At this time, we'll recognize Chairman Goins of the Public Service Committee.
Thank you, Chairman. I called a Public Service Committee to order. Any visitors wishing to speak? No, thank you. All right, new business. Surplus of Cherokee Park items, which include a 2008 Kubota tractor, four-wheel drive, 35 horsepower, 230, got 2,355 hours on it. A 2006 GMC Canyon tractor, four-wheel drive, GMC Canyon crew cab, 4x4, push-button 5-cylinder with 100,000 miles on it. A 2009 Toro Zero Turn, 72-inch cut, 29 horsepower, 747 hours on it. And a 2008 Agri Metal Blower, BW 300 plus 3-point hitch. I got a question. Is that Kubota tractor in that bad a shape?
It's a frank question.
I know, but see, here's the thing. I've got a Kubota tractor, and it's older than this. It's got a whole lot more miles. Runs like a brand new tractor. I mean, this might be falling apart. I don't know. I haven't seen it. And this 100,000 mile truck, 2006 GMC Canyon crew cab. 100,000 miles just ain't that much miles on a car anymore, guys.
Block is busted.
The block is busted. Would it be better? I'll stop that question. Okay, that's all I have.
Okay, playground equipment, where's that located? Stop Sleep Playground, next to the,
That's the old playground equipment.
That's that one down there in the
is that the playground equipment where the Republican women had their meeting, Joe?
Yes.
What's
is
wrong
it that
with
one? I thought was down
What's
there in
wrong with
I think we've already surplus that.
Oh, okay.
Replaced it.
You gonna replace it?
Yes, we got a grant from the Department of Health.
There's nothing wrong with that, I looked at it.
Wayne, it's kind of pieced together. They had a middle school group there this spring, and when they left, there was about 10 pieces. It was in about 10 pieces, so we've kind of patched it together. And we've got a grant from the State Department of Health to replace it.
Matching ground, or
No.
give it to us?
Yes.
How you gonna sell this?
We'll sell it on GovDeals, which is an online auction. We've used it for the last 5-6 years, and we've done very well with it.
When will that take place?
Once we replace it and it's no longer used, probably I would say, let's say 3 months.
I'll buy the tractor, sell it to you.
I'll buy it.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve.
There's a motion, I have a second. Say I second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Chairman, that's all I have.
Thank you, Chairman Goins. Chairman Huntsman of the Calendar and Rules Committee, you're recognized.
I call the meeting to order. Calendar rules. Is there any visitor who wishes to come up to the meeting? I see none.
I do have a question. I do have a question with the public service. I was at the meeting and asked you all about those trucks, like Quality Waste, Waste Industries. Now, Waste Industries, the guy who lives out there drives that truck. But Quality Waste and big trucks, garbage trucks, like the McGuffins and all that, they use our roads. We don't have many bills out there. And we have signs that says no big trucks. I'm gonna take pictures of them, I'm gonna bring them. And how do you get those signs? I asked Barry about the weight limit of the roads, and he said that you have to have a study on roads for weight limit. But they have signs, because we used to have one out on our road that said no big trucks, with the little round red thing with the truck, and it says no trucks. So I was wondering, how do people get those that don't want big trucks on their little bitty roads? These are big trucks, and I wanted the weight limit of the road. How much weight limit does that road hold? Because I know these big trucks are heavy. So, and you also told me, Mr. Cutshaw, last month, that you were gonna put that on the agenda.
I don't recall.
Well, you told me.
I don't recall.
Well, I do. And I come to the meetings. I've been coming for 7 years.
I understand, and you may be right.
Mhm. But you told me that you were gonna have it on the agenda.
I don't recall.
Okay. So, I'm asking you again to please do something about those big trucks on Sulphur Springs and Pine Brook. Those are little roads. And they were two pipes the other day, and I thought they were gonna hit each other. I mean, I thought they were gonna hit a big old garbage truck and a Italians. And Waste Industries. So, since we don't have a landfill out there anymore, I think we should have them be on the main road, not on the little bitty roads. And it's the same way with Wayne Licks, with his fluff taking it to the landfill. He's got a straight chute out to the landfill on the main road, and he uses Pine Brook all the time with his trucks. Got a straight chute, but I don't know why they want to use our road, and they have to go across 2 railroad tracks, and it's bad, because you don't never know when you're going to pull out in front of one of them. And some of them fly, some of them go fast. I live out there, I know. So please, if you don't mind, try to do something about the big trucks. I sure would appreciate it. That would say, God did something for me out there. It would be so nice.
How do you think they would go if they didn't do it?
They can go.
Stay on Silver Springs Road, what you're
They
saying?
stay off Sulphur Springs and Pine Brook. Because it's a little road.
You have to get them to Silver Springs Road.
Beg your pardon?
You have to get to Silver Springs Road
Why?
to get to the landfill.
You can take a straight shoot out at, David Carpenter Parkway and go across Jack Fishman's Bridge and take
That's a
it
long way to go
right
down
to
there,
it.
isn't it?
No, not for Mr. Leeds. Beg your pardon? Well, what's the difference in them complaining and me complaining? I'm a taxpayer too. You know what? It's Road Junction and that's why it goes.
I disagree with you.
Well, I'm sorry. I've lived out there all my life. You can disagree with me how you want to, but I don't have to agree with you with that.
Well, and I'm gonna ask Jim Step, how much longer time does it take to start playing this junkyard? If you took Pine Brook out to Sulphur Spring Road to get to landfill versus going up and getting on the Jack Fishman Bridge coming in?
The city rerouting, other than going through Pine Brook and stuff.
The city does that. The city doesn't come down Sulphur Springs Road anymore.
We
They used
decided to
to
reroute and go that route.
until they had a wreck.
How much longer does it
I'm
take?
not sure of the time, Wayne, how much it is.
Not a whole lot, is it?
And then they had to stop for trains. Don't make good sense. It sure don't. Thank you.
Okay,
There's a reason that the city quit using that route.
Because they wrecked.
There's a reason for it. The city wouldn't just quit going out Pine Brook to Sulphur Springs if there wasn't a reason. Now they go out.
It is a crazy road, I can admit that.
Yeah.
From the railroad track here and back here, zigzag like that, it's pretty dangerous, really. But, you know, something maybe we'll look at, I don't know.
Thanks.
But, okay, I'd like to review the regular calendar items. That's for motion on that.
Move to be approved.
Second. Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. And nays? No, okay. Then I'd like to also review the consent calendar items and ask for a motion on that.
So moved.
Okay, that's second.
I'll say.
That's second, okay. Any discussion on that?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Same as none. Chairman, I see no other interest in this today.
Thank you, Chairman Hudson. Concludes our committees, so we stand adjourned.